Good evening, folks. It's Connie from Distraction News Network. You thought we were gone, but we're back. We didn't really take a vacation. We just didn't feel like filming for a while. Anyway, we're back and we're ready to roll. Super exciting because it was June 1st yesterday and stores and restaurants are open. No, they're not, because looting has now taken place. You heard me. We're actually smack dab in the middle of the Hunger Games, folks. We didn't realize it when we started out with this mess, but now we are. Turns out that we're in a shitstorm, literally. Well, not literally, because it's pretty sunny outside right now, actually 92 degrees. And that doesn't help matters, because if it were raining, most people would stay at home because people don't want to get their hair messed up. But on to different news, on to distraction news, because we're not here to bring you down, we're here to lift you up. Section 230, Content Decency Act. Who knew what that was, right? Content Decency Act. Don't really know about it myself, other than it allows stuff to be siphoned through and pulled off of your Facebook posts. So if you're wondering why certain Facebook posts and certain other Facebook posts don't disappear, it's because we're actually being monitored nonstop. They literally have people sitting down at computers, not computerized generated programs, but actual human beings that sit down at computers and monitor what gets fed to us as a society and what doesn't. You wonder what's stirring up the old hornet's nest, and it's not the killer hornets, that's for sure, because those have long gone. I don't even know if they were really around, but we've passed that. That was so 5 minutes ago, Linda. Get on the program. We have a lot of other things at hand right now. Section 230, the Content Decency Act. It's monitoring our posts. It's monitoring what content is being put out there. So if you think there's a freedom of speech online, you're wrong unless you're on the right side of what the monitor wants us to see. Anyway, let's get back to business. What I want to talk about here is Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky, people, Aunt Becky is going to jail. Or the girl from Rad in the 80s. It was a BMX movie. It's quite interesting. It had a hero that was from the wrong side of the tracks, and anyway, it was about a kid who wanted to ride a BMX bike, and of course she was the cool girl in the movie, the girl that everybody wanted, and she could ride like nobody's business. And they rode around town on their BMXs, and then eventually he entered a race, and of course he beat out the kid that was supposed to win, who was sponsored by a whole bunch of people and came from the supposed right side of the tracks. It was a Rocky story, really, with bicycles, BMX bicycles to be exact. Anyway, she's going to jail for approximately 2 months. She spent millions of dollars to fight to get her daughter some sort of proctor. I don't know. She paid off somebody to get her to go to school somewhere. And then, she got caught for that. So did one of the housewives. Right away, she admitted her guilt, and then she went and did 2-week stint, and now Aunt Becky's going to jail for 2 months. Anyway, let's talk about bathroom door gaps, okay? Bathroom door gaps. What are you talking about, Connie from Distraction News? I'm talking about the little gap between the door when you're going to the bathroom in a public restaurant, or not restaurant, that's weird, in a public restroom. The gap is about this big. You can see people. Nowhere else, no other country does the gap have to be this big. Can we close the gap? Why is there a gap? The door should be, and why is there like a peephole at the bottom? Shouldn't the door go from top all the way to the ground with no gap for somebody to look at you peeing or whatever you're doing inside the bathroom? I mean, you know, hopefully it's number 1 or number 2 and not something disgusting, but in any event, we should close the gap on bathroom doors. You know what? Face masks. Let's talk about it for a minute. I mean, we've come out with all sorts of different face masks. And you know who was really on the cutting edge of the face mask trend and we didn't even realize it? Fred from Scooby-Doo. He was prepared. People made fun of him with his ascot, but actually Fred knew what was going to come down the pipeline, and he was frankly prepared. Not only could he solve a case of the whodunit, but we could actually use Fred right now. Fred knew how to wear a face mask. He appropriately had an ascot, which could be also used as a face mask, but Fred also could solve crime. Nobody faulted Fred and the Scooby-Doo gang for what they did the best, which was crime solvers. Anyway, aggressive rats, people. That's what's coming our way. Aggressive rats. What does this mean? Are they little rats that will, come up on you when you walk into a place? Rats have run amok amongst the city, and it's no wonder because places of where we eat have been closed now with no employees to set rat traps for approximately 12 weeks, 7 weeks, 24 weeks, an entire year. What month is it? I don't even know anymore, people. We've been safe inside for such a long time. Turns out that when we're safe inside for too long, when we are let outside, we go absolutely shit show crazy. Anyway, COVID-19, folks. So that's our next topic. So you wonder what happened to COVID, right? Well, we had the J.G. Wentworth 5-phase plan and 877 cash now. We all know that, right? J.G. was there for us if we needed cash. But his 5-phase plan was beginning to roll out. Like I said, June 1st came upon us this weekend. Is IKEA open? No, it's not. Is TJ Maxx open? No, it's not. Is Home Goods open? No, it's not. Are restaurants even open? No, they're not. I also mentioned the fact that some looting is going on across the country. Well, I think that's what happens when we take away church and we take away athletics and we take away all school structure whatsoever. The 5-phase plan doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Why? Because apparently, when you gather in crowds, it doesn't matter, except if you want to gather in crowds to protest against your business being shut down. Nope, that matters, but you should wear a mask for that. But if you gather in any other sort of crowd, it's a-okay. We can all gather and we don't have to wear masks. But the CDC is recommending, if you were a part of the protest this weekend, you probably should quarantine yourself for 14 days just in case COVID is still around, which people are kind of wondering, what the hell happened to COVID? Is it gone now? I don't know. Why were we held up in our homes for 3 months? Who the fuck knows anymore? We're just kind of sheep being led by social media and news media. Well, that's all for Distraction News this evening, folks. We have a full agenda for ourselves tomorrow to look for some news that isn't so daunting, quite frankly. Keep it together, folks. It's a shit show out there. Be safe.